energy. Living legends are reaching me. Sharing knowledge with you and me. Teaching us how to lead with Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee. On the run. Sharon Lee. Sharon Lee. On the run. Yeah. Keep on building that energy. One love that is on you and me. Keep on building that energy. One love that is on you and me. Keep on building that energy. One love that is on you and me. Keep on building that energy. One love that is on you and me.
Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. Come on, board. Come online. Share. Happy Friday. Hello. Welcome, guys, to the third season, the 8th episode of the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast Show. Guys, we've been rocking and rolling, since we've launched our third podcast. We've been meeting every other Friday for lunch, and we just love connecting with you, reconnecting with you, and just sharing stories all over the DMV and around the world. So guys, y'all know me. You know how I like to have fun. You know how I like to lead, and you know how I definitely like to learn. I've done nothing but learn in the last almost 7 days because I've been stuck in the house because of this snowstorm, everybody. I can't get out of my neighborhood to save my life. I don't understand it. But anyway, I just want to say, guys, always thank you for always coming back. Thank you for always representing. Thank you for always sharing with us your time, lunchtime with us on the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast Show. You know how I do it. I like to always start off by thanking our engineer, smart video girl, Krista Glenn. Yes, Dr. Louise. She's been hanging with me for a long time, and she's going to keep on hanging with me for a long time. So thank you, Chris. We love everything you do behind the scenes. We love how you educate our guests, and you've been doing this for 3 seasons now. So I'm so happy that you're still here. I want to also thank my nephew, Sean Parker, for always, making sure the lights look professionally on me. And I would always support his program, his business, because he's part of my business to business network, and his beautiful wife, Dana. I would like to thank Dana for also being the one who created the Sharon Lee Briefing podcast theme song. Well, I'm giving you a little bit more credit, Dana, but guess what? You created this too, okay? But I want to thank her. She created the theme song for the Sharon Lee Briefing podcast show, and we can look forward to getting the the Synergy Girl theme song, because we're going to try to introduce that this year at some point as well. I want to thank our guests for signing on. Summer Breeze, I don't know who you are, but I'm glad to see that name. Okay, so put your name in the comments so we can know who Summer Breeze is. And Rich Steppen, is that Steppen Papa 23? Please say, put your name in the comments. I'm not sure if you're coming over from YouTube or if you're coming over from the Sharon Lee, Leading with Sharon Lee on our Facebook page, but let me know who you all are. Thank you, Cynthia. Always look forward to having you on board. She's another one of our business to business networking partners, and I look forward to sharing more about what this young lady's been up to. So guys, share, and share again. Again, remember to always put in your name so we can know exactly who you are, so we can shout you out to the audience. You can ask questions, you can make comments, and you can just make things, roll real smoothly for me. So, hey, Shayla, welcome on board. That's another one of our next generation business to business professionals as well. And I can't wait to talk about her journey and what she's doing. Y'all like to get your hair done like I do? That's the one you want to talk to real soon, but we'll be sharing that later. So let's just get started, guys, because I don't want to belabor this. On time. Wonderful podcast, and it's on time for several reasons. Y'all may be crying a little bit. I'm sorry. laughing a little bit. You're definitely going to be learning, and you're definitely going to be leading. But this story of Rakita Thompson, you don't want to miss. I strongly, if you have a daughter, if you have a granddaughter, I'm begging you, please share this out to your network now. If you're not able to watch it on your lunch hour, share it before people can watch it later, because this is really a much needed topic that needs to be talked about in the community, especially today. And I'm talking about, all communities, but especially the community of color. So please, share this out. Without any further ado, what we're going to do is ask Rakita just to share a little bit about her, who she is, just a little snippet of just who she is, where she's from, where she was born, and a little bit about what she's doing now. And then we'll jump into the interview. After she shares that snippet, then we're going to bring on her beautiful grandmom, Miss Louise Battle, who's I'm just so amazed that you shared the story with me a few weeks ago, because I think this is again a real-time topic. But I just want to thank you, because it's nothing like a grandmom, a soldier grandma, okay, holding you by the hands and saying, "No, I got you, baby. God got you, and I got you too. Don't mess with grandma babies, okay? Don't play that. We don't play that, okay? Don't do that." So, if we could bring up Rakita and just give us a little snippet about who you are, dear. Welcome, sweetheart. You're so
Hi,
beautiful.
thank you. Hi, Sharon.
Hello.
So I am Rakita Thompson. I was born in Washington, D.C., lived there for a short time, moved to Maryland. Right now, I'm currently an accounting professional. I'm an author, and I also do event planning. I have a business, Beautiful From Within Event Planning and Decor, that I like to do in my spare time.
Awesome.
And I'm a mother.
Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm so glad you said that. Yay!
Yeah, my son just recently graduated from college.
Oh,
Back in May.
You look like you're a college student yourself. Beautiful. Well, I tell you, everyone knows this podcast show. We always try to identify what synergy things we have in common throughout the show, because this is not pre-recorded. This is a live, as we go along, right? So when a synergy moment come up, I like to always highlight that. And you said you have a platform called Something Within?
Beautiful From Within.
Wow. So I'm an author too. I have a book called True Synergy Work, Leading from Within. That's a synergy moment, right? So
Yes.
God know we're about to set it off on this show. I'm about to act crazy here. Because what we do, we laugh, we learn, and we lead, guys. And this is what we're all about. So I tell you what, before I actually go into the actual interview, I wasn't able to get many pictures from you, because I always like to give our guests a legacy gift to take away with them. So I don't know if you sent me anything, but if you didn't, I'm going to apologize in advance, because I just did a quick little video snippet of your Facebook, since we were friends on Facebook. I hope you're okay with that.
That's fine.
All right, thank you. So, Chris, if you could bring up her video. We do this for all of our podcast guests, and we just want to get your little feeling on how you felt about it once it's finished. right. So, when I see grandma behind the scenes, saying, "Oh yeah,"
That was
shaking that head, that means a little something over
that
here.
was heartwarming. Was trying not to shed a tear.
Oh, wonderful. We love to give you the gift because we
That was
really
beautiful.
appreciate you spending your time with us. We love you, love the fact that you will share your story with us. And most importantly, we just want people, you got some visuals out there and you got some that likes to just listen and hear. But when you can see a person's journey as you're talking about it, they can remember some of those images. And I call them introverts and extroverts, right? But at the end of the day, everybody, we don't all think the same. So let's just jump into it, honey. I first want to know a little bit more about you. You said you were born in Washington, D.C. You said you live in Maryland now. You said you have a son. How old is your son again?
He's almost 25.
20, almost 25. He graduated from college. That is a phenomenal. Young people, y'all hear that? Okay, you hear that? Get into college because we're going to need you in college more now than ever. So let's talk about your mom and your dad. Where are your mom and your dad from?
My dad was from Northwest and my mom was from Northeast.
Awesome.
So
So
they're both from DC.
are they living now?
My dad passed away 2019,
Mm,
and he meant a lot to me.
okay.
And my mom, she's still living. She lives in Maryland.
Awesome. So Marylanders, guys, y'all gonna be
Yeah.
excited in a few days on what we're gonna be doing here in Maryland. But I'm gonna hold myself. Where's your grandma from?
So grandma's from DC.
Awesome, 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 awesome. And let me just say, because what school did you go? Did you graduate from again, or your
So I
college?
graduated from Suitland High School.
Look at the synergy here. That's what I knew I would get you some synergy over here.
Oh,
Come on, my grandson graduated from Suitland High School.
oh
Um,
wow.
and God, I used to live in Suitland. I used to have a home in Suitland that we sold a couple of years ago. So awesome, some more synergy. Okay,
Yeah.
so how was your childhood? Was it happy? Was it sad? Was it fun? Tell us a little bit
So so my childhood, I went through a lot as a child. I'll say I was a very shy child. And as a kid, as a young kid, my dad was in the army, and my mom, she worked. And I'll say my parents they were always married. They married, I want to say when they were 21, my mom was 21.
about it.
And so they were married when they had me, and really hardworking family. I'll say when I was 2.5, 3, I was inappropriately touched by a family member. And that shaped quite a bit of my childhood. And I'll say my parents were always very overprotective, so they didn't know, because a lot of time things happen right under your nose, like because it's those that you trust.
Yes.
So someone that they trusted touched me inappropriately, and it just started to take shape. Like my personality, I started acting grown, and I was so little, but I've always, kind of had an old soul. And so that affected me in so many different ways of how I moved as a kid.
Yes.
So it's like I had friends, but I always looked at them like, you guys are too young. And we were the same age, but I just always had looked at things different because of what happened to me.
Okay.
And it's like I couldn't enjoy my childhood because of the spirit that was put on me when I was touched inappropriately. And so I'll say a lot of times, and I just became really quiet, really shy.
Okay.
When I went outside with my friends, I was a totally different person with my friends, but around family, I was just kind of really shy. Always had my head down. I didn't like taking pictures. And when I got a little older, we had moved. And then we had a neighbor that my parents trusted. And I went next door to the neighbor's house. And the neighbor, it was a girl, and she was older than me. So, of course, we would play. but this neighbor touched me inappropriately. And I'll say I never said anything because, when you're little, I was 6.5, 7.
Mm.
So she had to be probably like 13. So it
Wow.
was someone that your parents wouldn't have thought would have done something like that. And I never said anything until I got older. Well, matter of fact, I never said anything to my mom because my dad, he had passed. So until recently, when she actually heard me talking about my inspiration for the book.
Oh, wow.
So I never really shared it. But I will say, as an adult, when I went to therapy, that's when I started digging down of what is the root. And I
Mm.
wrote a poem in the book, What is the Root? Because what I wanted to do was uproot everything, every situation, everything that kind of shaped my character, shaped the way I moved, shaped
Yes.
the reason why I had low self-esteem, because I had low self-esteem ever since I was little. I don't have it anymore, thank you, Jesus.
Mm.
But I'm big on beautiful from within because I know that within there's more substance than in the outer, and it, radiates on the outer. And so as an adult, young adult, as I started doing therapy, that really helped me to deal with childhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that background. I just want to say, guys, who's listening, I said earlier, it's going to be some crying, it's going to be some sad, it's going to be some laughter, it's going to be, some learning and leading. Just understand that Rakita is sharing her experience, and that's what we do on that show. Um, I'm going to share my viewpoint on life. As you know, I am a baby boomer. I'm a senior, and I'm proud of it. And I was born during the civil rights era, guys, where this stuff ran rampant in the community, and so many moms, grandmoms, great grandmoms never shared their challenge of being molested or abused emotionally or physically, because they were kind of taught just to keep it to yourself, not say anything. And because of that, I just want you all to know that, Rakita, I give you so many kudos. You are so brave, because more women who have gone through challenges need to share their story, not just of what happened, but the healing process. And that's why I'm so excited about your book called A Silent Kiss. What made you come up with that name, A Silent Kiss?
The name came to me really quickly. Um, the name came to me because I thought about everything that I had went through as
Mm.
a childhood, as an adult, just throughout my whole life, and that God was always there to give me a silent kiss. I may have not have heard him. I may have thought I was alone. I may have thought nobody cared, but he always was there giving me a silent kiss. He was always there to push me.
Yes.
Nothing that I ever went through was able to devour me.
Mm.
I've conquered everything that tried to conquer me.
Yes.
And God was there with the silent kiss to let me know I may not be saying anything, but I'm right here. And a
Yes.
lot of times when you suffer from low self-esteem, you feel like nobody cares.
Yeah.
And what I'll say is a lot of reflecting. I always was really good in school. I was in high school, I graduated with a 3.59. And in college, I had good grades. And so I always hid behind my education. I always kept learning, but I
Yes.
was broken. And so many people hide behind degrees and different things. And in my book, when I talk about a silent kiss, when I break it down, I said I kept accomplishing things, but still felt alone
Yes.
because things won't fulfill a certain void, but God will. And so a silent kiss just gave me the extra push.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Look, I'm kind of bubbling all over again because God has blessed me to connect with some phenomenal people around the world, actually. And I just happened to have been talking to a young lady on the phone this morning, my credit union, right? About getting some work done, and she was home, stuck in the snow, and she figured, she needed to get something to me by Monday, so she came in from North Beach, Maryland, to Washington D.C. to get me some information. She calls me, and of course I'm on that. Look. Get this done, right? And she's like, I'm trying to get it done, Miss Parker. I know you. I'm trying to get it done. I'm trying to get it done. But we had about a 20-minute conversation of her. I don't know how it turned into her telling her story about how her mom, was had some issues with addiction. Her father had some issues with addiction, and she's a branch manager, so she lives in North Beach, like probably the only Black in this all white community, right? But she gets to talk about all of the challenges that she went through. And I don't think she's really ever shared that much with anyone. That's the point I'm trying to bring it up and associated with what you're sharing. You're sharing your story. But this woman who's running a credit union just happened to share her passionate story with me. And I started sharing with her my story. And I was telling her about what my mom had gone through with her challenges, being unfortunately, she used to drink when we were kids, which impacted some of the decisions that we did or made in our life. And yes, I used to be shy, not no more, y'all. But I used to be shy and everything. But at the end of the day, just to hear you share that is really, really priceless. So let's take a little break. What I would like Chris to do, because I want y'all to see this synergy movement going on here. I used to call it just, my book, True Synergy Work Leading from Within. But this is a movement now because I see what God is doing. I've always seen it, but I just see it even more when he bring the next generation on board and they tell their story about what they went through. And even though I've shared some of my stories, I haven't gotten deep into some things that happened to me when I was a little girl. So kudos to you. But Chris, if you could bring up the flyer where I'll be at the Barnes and Nobles in Virginia, Potomac Yards on February 21st for Black History Month. I just wanted to bring that flyer because I think it kind of sinks in with this conversation. So if you could bring that up, bring that one that has everything on it. I want to see the whole collage that was created. This one right here, I think this is really, really profound. There's a when I was at the Barnes and Noble, this may have been what, I don't know what year is that. I can't even see it on the flyer, but it was about probably 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even late, sooner than that. I had brought some young girls with me to tell their story, and it was about, I think, 3 of them, and they were authors at little 12-year-old, 13-year-old, and I'm like, what? Thank you, God. But they're telling their story. And I never imagined that God would have me come back maybe 5, 6 years later to go back to the same location at Barnes and Nobles to continue the book of True Synergy Work, because we need our story told. So you can see that if you look up, this event, you'll probably see it out there on Facebook or somewhere, but Dear Fear, Teen Edition, these are some things that was happening 6, 7 years ago. So again, Rakita, I just want to say thank you for sharing your story, but I just want y'all to know, if you're not doing anything, come out and help me celebrate what was it, almost the 10th annual of my book that was written back in 2017. So come out on February 21st for Black History Month from 1 to 3. Be in the room, bring your book. I like to always highlight your book. Bring your book. Please, I mean, True Synergy Work won't mean anything with me just telling my story. It means us collaborating so that others can share their story as well. So bring your book. I'll highlight it on my table. You can get some photo ops and bring a family member, bring a friend, but put it on your calendar, February 21st. Black History Month from 1 to 3 at the Potomac Yards. So, all right, Rakita, let's bring up your grandmom now because I know girlfriend got some stuff to share with us. Okay, and then we'll get deep into your book as well. Hi, Miss Louise, how are you, sweetheart?
Hello, how are you?
You're looking beautiful as always.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So, tell me, what do you think about your grandbaby?
Mm-mm-mm. This is an amazing woman. She hasn't really told the story yet, but once she tells the story, and I always tell her, everybody can't go through this.
Mm,
This, God allowed this to happen to you because he knew that you were going to come out and give him the glory.
mm.
It was a heinous crime that was committed on her. And I'll let her tell the story because I'll be getting into the story. All right. And
All right,
I want her to tell the story. But this is an amazing woman. She has become a prayer warrior.
I hear you.
She is a member in the family that they call and want prayer.
I know that's
All
right.
right. They know she's going to get a prayer through. Okay. So
Well,
God
let's
has
get so
anointed
let's
this woman. He has strengthened this woman through all of this, in the midst of this.
so let's
If
get
I
to
had
praying.
gone through this, I would be in St. Eve with one strand of hair,
Okay.
greasing that, trying to keep that. Okay.
All right, so let's get to praying then. Let's get the prayer going. Okay, so thank you for sharing that. I do want to say something. Our elder used to tell me a long time ago, and I'm not sure how I felt about it, but an elder used to say, anything bad that happens to you, don't put God in it. That's not God doing that. What God is
Mm-hmm.
doing is countering what the bad did, right? So what God
Mm-hmm.
never allows anything bad to happen to anyone. That's why God, says people, he give people a choice. And that
Mm-hmm.
choice is to do good or do bad. And if those
Mm-hmm.
people choose to do bad, it's going to impact others. But what God
Yeah.
will do is say, hey, I'm the leader over all of this insane, crazy chaosness. Okay. I'm going to,
Mm-hmm.
recover you from this, whatever happened. And then I'm going to have you honor
Yeah.
me as you heal. That's the way I like to look at it. So tell us about what
Mm-hmm.
your
Okay.
grandmom is talking about. Because I know the book is about your poems, it's about your spiritual insight, your God, constant message. And the title, of today, let's not forget about the title of how you lead from within and don't let anyone derail you from what God has for you and only what God has for you, which is your destiny. So tell us what happened to you, how old you were when it happened to you, and how did you heal from that?
So on November 2nd, 2007, as I was headed to work, I parked my car at the Congress Heights Metro Station, which was right on Savannah Street. And it was around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I was walking up the street, and two young guys stopped me and told me to give them my stuff and told me that I was coming with them. One of them had a gun to me. Both of them had hoodies on, and I gave them my stuff. And one guy put me in the back of my car. The other one got up front. Um, I called the guy that was driving, the leader, and I called the guy that was in the back with me. I call him the follower because he was the one taking the orders. As we got in the car, they started asking me questions. They were asking me who did I know with money. Um, they were asking me if I had a boyfriend and if he had money and if he had like a PlayStation, like different. They were asking me different questions. And so I was like, no, I don't have a boyfriend and I don't know anybody with money. And so they asked me where did I live, and I told them I lived in Forestville at the time. And so they asked me about my parents. So as we got in the car going down Stanton Road to hit Suitland Parkway, In my head, I said, I would never give them my parents' information because my parents aren't spiritually strong enough to endure whatever I can endure, because at that time I felt like I was more spiritually grounded at the age of 26. And so I also said I'd rather, sacrifice my life than my family's life, because, yeah, so I didn't want to do that. So I gave them my address. At the age of 25, I had brought a condo. So we were going to my condo. And as we were on Suitland Parkway, the guy in the back asked me to perform fellatio. That's the legal term. So in my head, I was like, gross. I had to do it for a second. It wasn't long, because by the time that the guy did ask for me to do that on Suitland Parkway, it was time to get off on the exit on Suitland Road. As we were in the car and they were driving to my house, I was talking to them the entire time. God had his peace just drenched over me. I was asking them, what school did you guys go to? Did you guys grow up around? I was just talking to them how I talk to everybody, because I'm a people person. And so they were talking to me, and then we get to my condo. And before we got out the car, they said, if you pull anything, if you make a scream, a noise, whatever, you're dead. I said, I won't make a noise. So we get to my condo, we get inside. The leader starts ransacking the house, going through the cabinets. He went to the kitchen first, went through all the cabinets, going through the drawers. I guess he looks at a lot of TV, so he thought it was going to be like Money in the Kitchen or something. So he was just going through everything in the kitchen. And then the follower told me to go to the room. So as I went to the room, I heard all the racket or whatever in the kitchen. The follower had a gun. He didn't use it. He just had it with him, and told me to take off my clothes. And he raped me. I'm grateful that they had a condom. And he just threw it on the floor. The gross part of what was going on was the guy kissed me on my neck, and he was saying that I was a beautiful person, which was gross. And I wish I was your boyfriend. That was really gross. And then he stopped. And then the other one, the leader, came from the kitchen, and he lifted up the gun before he did anything. And he said, if this gets back to the police, I'm going to come find you, because I know where you live. I'm going to take this gun, stick it up you, and kill you that way if it gets back. And so he pulled out a condom, and he raped me as well. And then he stopped and was like, okay, you can go wash up. I'm grateful that the acts didn't take long, but it was still the agony of, dealing with that. So as I was washing up in the bathroom, the leader was like, okay, we want to go to the bank. So he had got, some jewelry it was some jewelry in my kitchen drawer, or whatever, that was in a bag. Because I had just came back from travel, and the jewelry was, from the trip. My ex-boyfriend had left it at the house. So he got that jewelry, and then we went to Bank of America. Bank of America on 23rd Parkway by Iverson Mall. But on the way to the Bank of America, they were almost in a car accident with my car. And so versus them going to the Bank of America on Marlboro Pike that we were supposed to went to, that was up the street from my condo, when they almost hit the other car swerving, they just hurry up and sped down Forestville Road and got on Suitland Parkway and took me to Iverson Mall. The leader stayed in the car. The follower got out the car. The follower got out the car. He didn't have a mask on or anything. And he walked with me inside the bank. and was talking to me as we were walking from the bottom part of the garage at Iverson Mall. And so he started just, talking to me, just telling me different things. And then we get in the mall. We get in the Bank of America, which was inside, connected to the mall. And then they could only get $700 out of my account because I had a threshold. I had just got paid that day, but there was only a certain amount that Bank of America would let me take out per day because I had a daily limit. And so since they didn't get as much as, because they asked me how much did I have in the bank, and I told them. And because we couldn't get as much as I told them, they said, well, we're going to try to get the money another way. And so they took me to the liquor store on 23rd Parkway. When we got to the liquor store at 23rd Parkway, the leader stayed in the car. The follower got out the car and apologized to me. He said, I'm so sorry for what we did. This is what we do to survive. My mother just passed away and we're going to bury her on Monday.
Wow.
And he was like, you're just such of a beautiful person. And so, and then we were like headed in the liquor store, and I guess they got some alcohol. I think they had got, I don't know, it was like some champagne or something like that, and probably something to smoke or whatever. And we used my debit card to get that, and then we left back out the store. Mind you, they were on camera there too. Then they said, if we can get burner phones, then we'll give you your phones back, because I had 2 phones at the time. So they took me off of Suitland Parkway over there by the old New York Fried Chicken on Alabama Avenue to the little corner store that you could see right off of Suitland Parkway at the top of the hill, which was a convenience store. We went in there to get phones. They spent about $400. They both got phones. They were on camera there as well. And so when we left out of there, they asked me, where do you want us to drop you off at? And I said, you could take me to Southern Avenue Metro Station. So we get to Southern Avenue Metro Station, and they gave me my phone and stuff back. And the leader said, at 6 o'clock, come to the alley around Congress Heights. Your keys for your car will be under your front tire in the alley. You can get your car after that time. We'll put it back. And so the follower got out the car and asked me for a hug. And I think that may have shook me up more than anything, because the hug was what I felt at that moment. No matter all the things that they had done, I didn't talk to them no different than I'm talking to you. I still treated them with respect, and I couldn't look at them I couldn't look at them like in a bad way because of God's covering that he had over me. And so I was like, if they've never experienced God's love, they experienced it through me, because after everything that they did, I didn't treat them any different. And I know they felt God's presence with my presence. And so when the guy asked for a hug, that definitely, affected me. And so when I walked up the street, I called my job first. And I told them, I was like, I'm not going to be at work today. They were like, why are you calling us after what happened? Because I was a dedicated employee. And so I ended up calling the police after, and they met me at the Metro. And since this was an interstate case, a Maryland detective met me there. And what we did was I got in his car and we retraced the steps for the entire day. And it was evidence everywhere. It was nothing like just evidence. It was like a trail that you wanted people to see. And so we went back to my place first. They grabbed both of the condoms that were thrown with everything in there. There were fingerprints everywhere, so they got everything they needed. Once we left there, we went to the bank, because we followed backwards, but we went to the bank, then we went to the convenience store, so we got the footage from there. Then we got the convenience store footage, but we had got the liquor store footage first. So we got all those, and then they went to the alley,
Yeah.
and they were able to get the car. Um, so they got the evidence for that too, and they I guess they towed it. And then I went to the hospital to do a rape kit. And
Yeah.
so when I went to the hospital, I called my old bishop from the church I used to go to, and he came right up to the hospital, and he was like, God allowed you to go through this because he knew that you would give him all the honor and all the glory, and that you're the only one that could have went through it. And so he was saying, don't worry. If they had anything, you were protected. Like God had you shielded. He just needed a vessel, and you were that vessel. Because he said, because what you went through was not for you, it's for other people. Um,
So let me ask you, and I hate to cut you off, and because I just wanted you, if I had a 2 hour show, I'll have you talk through the whole 2 hours, just to share your story and to share what happened. But I just have to ask for the audience who's out there, um, what year did this happen?
2007.
You said that. Okay. Was this in the news
It
or
was it
television?
was on the news. I was trying to figure out the different news stations because it was broadcasted on the news. Matter of fact, when I was at the hospital, I didn't cry until I seen it on the news because they had like a bag over my head. I still remember what I had on. I had like a teal coat on, and they were showing the Bank of America footage, and it was in the Washington Post as well, but it was definitely on different news stations. But when I did reach back out to the news stations not too long ago, they were saying their archive doesn't really keep data, footage that long.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, it was on the news. It affected so many people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Just, I told everyone earlier that we were going to do a little crying, we're going to laugh, we're going to learn, we're going to lead, right? And I'm like, everyone who knows me, they know, like, okay, Sharon doesn't hardly cry. What's wrong with her? She doesn't cry. Why that girl don't cry? But inside, I am crying because for you to have gone through that and be able to be strong and to accomplish success the way you have, for you to have completed college, for your son to have completed college, you're definitely a vessel, and you're definitely a vessel for God to be able to, you know, share with people not only what you've gone through, but again, how you overcame it. But this is a lesson, I think, here. This is a lesson. And what I always like to leave our audience with is some tools and tips to not only heal, because again, I'm a civil rights baby. And the stuff that we've gone through in the past is just unbelievable. But the stuff that people are going through today is scary on so many levels. Their children going missing, young babies, 10, 12, 15, 20, going missing. Today, when I go on social media and I see another black kid or a kid of color or missing, something has gone wrong in society where there's not a lot of constant uproar about our children going missing. God bless you to be here to be able to share what you've gone through.
Mhm.
But what can you say to our next generation to help them, one, protect themselves? And we're going to finish with your story, but one, to help protect themselves. What do you think you could have done or could have had on your person, to kind of prevent these men from doing what they did? I got to say, I know some girls walking around with pepper spray right now. They got low, and they allowed to wear guns these days. But the weapon of choice is that phone, that cell phone, right? So,
Yeah.
what tips can you give the next generation, girls and boys, who have been abducted, if you will? who've been, abused on by those, that they don't even know, even if they were family. What could you say to them?
What I'll say, what I'll first say is always pay attention to your surroundings.
Mm.
Um, if you're at in a neighborhood that you're not familiar with and you see people sitting outside, just to be cautious, um, I would cross the street. Let's say, because I felt like I walked up on them because I was walking to the metro and they were sitting on the side. And so I feel like if I would have scoped it out and seen them, I probably wouldn't had even walked went that way, and I probably would have parked somewhere else. So like if
Mm.
you might need to drive around the block and make sure it looks decent, make sure no one is out before you just get out and start walking. Because I actually was walking kind of almost up a hill, so I
Yeah,
didn't know what was up there.
yeah,
Um, but I'll just say if it's a neighborhood that's a little rocky, don't even park in that neighborhood.
nice.
Stay in places that you feel safe.
Good,
That's for one.
good
Um,
recommendation.
share your location. Nowadays we share locations. So I would say always share your location, especially if you have like an iPhone or a phone, even a Google type phone, Samsung or Droid. Share your location. Let someone know where you are. If you're going somewhere by yourself, try to not seem like you're by yourself, whether you're talking to someone on FaceTime or just something, because people are always kind of like watching
Yes,
when you don't feel they are.
yes,
Um, and I'll say, if it's someone that's been inappropriately touched, tell somebody. Don't be mute. I was muted as a kid, but don't be mute because it starts to grow on the inside when you're mute and it starts to affect your life in other ways. And you
yeah,
start to pick up pacifiers for coping mechanisms when you don't talk. And
yes,
that's young people or older people. If you don't get it out, it's going to grow.
yes.
And so I'll just say, never be afraid to tell someone what you've gone through and never feel ashamed because society wants you to feel ashamed like you're dirty. I never felt dirty
Good.
after what happened to me. I never took on the mentality of a victim. I was victimized, but I was not a victim. I was a conqueror.
And we're going to talk about part two of that because I want the audience to hear what happened to the men who went to
Yes.
jail. But I don't want to spoil it. But I do want to say this is that we all know that hurt people,
Mm-hmm.
right? We all know that what based on what you shared that one of the young men didn't want to do it, but his mother had just passed away, and there's no excuse on whatever level for what they did. But the fact that they shared that with you, I'm just thinking about how many moms are listening to this podcast and how many moms who need to prepare their children on how to treat human beings when you're hurting, when you're scared, when you're mad, when you're not, stable, whatever it is. Moms, dads, grandmoms, granddad, and all. So, Miss Louise, I know I've been listening to Rakita, share her definitely story that the world needs to share. But I'm gonna bring in another commercial because I gotta pay some bills, right? I'm not sure who Summer Breeze is, but I'd love to know who that person is because she's saying that she's grateful for Rakita, and when she first heard about the story, she was mad. However, the years have gone, and I guess constant prayers and witnessing to her led to the appreciation will of God. So I just love to just know who you are, dear. Um, yes, she is definitely truly a blessing. And
That's one of my friends.
oh, okay,
I
thank
just
you.
realized that's her.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so
Sure.
glad to hear you support her. But let me pay a couple of bills first. Chris, if you could bring up, let's get a little laughter here. Let's get a little happiness in here for a second, okay? Bring up another grandma moment. Um, Shayla, who has her own business, and I want to talk about her products. And after that, we're going to ask people to do a little trivia because we're going to give away some books here. But Chris, if you could bring up Shayla's flyer. Moxie Allura, Moxie Allura, Moxie Allura. She, guys, she is she's starting out there as a young entrepreneur. She's really, really, really good. Tell you the hair that she's been doing in the DMV has just been phenomenal. So I wanted to promote my grandbaby because it's nothing like letting your children know, your grandchildren know that they are blessed by God with talent. When
Amen.
they're brought into this world, no matter what happened to them, they come in this world with gifts. They're made in God's image, and the only thing they have to do is basically just show up, go to school, get an education, hopefully go to college, get a degree. But if you don't, if you want to be an entrepreneur, start out like, use your hands like we used to do back in the day, right? We used to use our hands to make money. So Moxie and Laura, I want you to put in the comments how people can reach out to you. Share your Instagram channel. But isn't her hairstyle really nice? I mean, she does
Mhm.
young people, she does adults, she does seniors. I'm just so proud of her for just stepping out on her own and doing her work. So that's a little proud moment over there for my baby, my
All
grandbaby,
right.
Sheila. So a trivia, guys, for all that is listening and watching out there. Um, I want you to go back in your memory bank and I want you to tell me, and I'm gonna try to say this so that the first person who get this, I want to get a copy of your book, a hard copy of your book, Rakita. So I will purchase one, and I will give it to the first person that can tell me the two places you said you lived. The first person that can tell me the two places that you said you live will win a copy of your book. So, first person, and if you're a close friend of hers, don't say it because you are already know. Okay, give the other audience an opportunity. But the first person that can tell me the two places that Rakita says she lived. And while you're going to populate the chat, I'm just going to bring up some more comments. Sir Charles says this is a tender, sensitive time, and we all have to come to terms with our emotions. Yeah, yeah. I tell you, whew, emotions is a
Yeah.
powerful thing.
Yeah.
But being able to control those emotions is next level leadership. And what I'm hearing of your story, honey bun, you control those emotions. You were able to save your own life
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
through your control over your emotions. I am just in awe on how you were able to get through that, but you never showed hate, resentment, anger. You was like, I didn't cause this. They did this to me.
Mm-hmm.
But God got me and I know it. So the only thing I got to do is be the person God designed me to be without any rationale or excuses behind it. Just because I can act mad, act sad, act ugly doesn't mean I have to, no matter what's happening to me. That's a God driven person.
Mm-hmm.
And if you all don't get that message, because we can't all do it, everybody got different personality styles now. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
if you have to do a
Yeah.
lot, well, I used to be quiet. And I'm not. Okay. Unfortunately, the downside of not being quiet now, sometimes I may speak my mind and you may not like me. So I'm still working on me with that.
That's good. That's good.
I'm still working on me with that. But Miss Louise, grandma, grandma, your legacy is just amazing just because I know you from a platform called American Mothers Inc. I know your daughter from a platform called American Mothers Inc. Tell me about your grandbaby again, how does your legacy align with your mission of net not let not let not what does that mean to you and what does that mean to your legacy?
In fact, that's one of my favorite poems too in her book, Let Not. But you know how you always pray, you're always praying for your family, always praying for your family. And I think when I leave here, who's going to carry on praying for the family?
Mm,
And God always has a ram in the bush,
mm,
always. So they're members of the family that pray, but Keita prays because she has a connection with God. You know how you can call some people and say, pray for me, or you can pray for me?
yeah,
No,
yeah.
you ask her to pray for you, she's going to pray for you.
Wow.
Guaranteed. God gonna do something. God gonna move. All right.
Mm,
So that is a part of the legacy. Lord, grab somebody now, who's praying and who's going to pray after I leave.
yes,
Okay. So she is that person. She
I
is
love
that
it.
person. God is in her. She didn't tell you that she ministered to these two young men at certain times,
Wow.
telling them about Jesus after going
Yes,
through all of this.
yes,
But then there are consequences, to the women and to the young women, ladies, older women who are listening to this. Yes, I ditto. Check out your surroundings. Take a self defense class. I have said, Lord, please just leave a little thug in me. Just
yes.
leave a little thug in me. Okay. The look, whatever it takes. I may have to have the ugly face. I may have to cuss. I scream. I carry a whistle with me. And I don't even have the pepper spray. I got bear spray.
I, I
Ain't
love
nobody
it.
playing with this thing. And for the young men, there are consequences. If you want to do something like this, how many years did each of those young men get, Keita? How many years did they get?
90 years each.
Whoa.
They both got 90 years each.
90
Whoa.
years each. So if you want to think about violating a woman, touching
Whoa.
a woman inappropriately, there are consequences. Don't play with it. This is not
Um,
time to be playing.
coming from the grandma thug, there's a little thug in me. We laugh, we
But
learn, we
I'm
lead
thankful
over
that
here,
she's
y'all.
alive. She's been in therapy. Therapy is not wrong. You're not crazy because you're taking therapy. Yes, you need the Lord, but you need some therapy too
Yes,
Come
you
on
to
do.
now.
get you through this.
Come on now.
And she's
Well,
she's written about it.
well, I tell you
You're
what, we
right.
only got a couple of
She's a
minutes left,
victor
guys.
now. She was a
Thank you.
victim. She's now the victor.
Yes, ma'am. All right, I tell you what. So we're going to say congratulations to Cynthia Lane because she is the winner of your book. Um,
Yay.
so a silent
All
kiss. I
right.
definitely am going to purchase it for her. That's my gift to Cynthia. I mentioned earlier that Cynthia is one of the Rosa's business to business, collaborators, partners. I call her everything's synergy. She
Mhm.
collects the community together. Um, I want Chris, if you could bring up the flyer where we went to the tea party at Crossing High School. I want to show that flyer or that picture on the screen because I just want people to know who Cynthia is. That's my girl. She's always supportive of us. And last Saturday we were at an event at the Crossing High School where we were talking with, moms and daughters. I'm sure some grandmas were in the room. And we had, the Prince George County NWA, I think it's the National Congress of Negro Women who was there. This is a lady on the left with her flower on. We had someone from Homeland Security who used to be in the Civil Rights Department who unfortunately lost her job during the government. We'll talk about her and some different platforms. Of course, you see me with my birthstone color, the emerald color in the middle with my
That's
little
mine
Rosa
too.
sign. with my little Rosa scarf on, and also the host and founder. This is what's her name? God, Wanda Knox, who put the event together. Then we had a couple of other ladies who, they told some phenomenal stories. But Cynthia is here in the picture I don't know if it's your right or left, but at the bottom, she's sitting down with the founder and myself. I just want to show her because she is
Aw.
truly, truly amazing. So for her to win your book and everything, it just kind of goes to show that God is right now at work because he has people out there who we call synergy builders out there doing
Yes.
that work. And Cynthia, baby doll, you've been doing that work, and I just want to thank you
Yes.
for doing that work. And you've been with me since Rosa started back in 2008. So I just want to thank you again for always. Thank you to the National Congress of Negro Women. Thank you, Cynthia, for always showing up on that behalf. So she does the work. So look, it's my podcast show, so we're gonna go a little longer. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. You're gonna deal with it. My podcast show. We can do this. Keita. Okay, so what I would like to know, I know it's more to your story, and it may be a part two of this too. So I hope you don't mind me calling you back for a part two.
No, I don't mind.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I want to show you a video again that we gave you, and then I want people to think about your journey, what you've overcome, girl. You are truly a blessing. I want to thank your grandma
Amen. Amen.
for being part of
Thank
the
you.
Rose's B2B platform as well. I don't know, Cynthia, if I put out a flyer for American Mothers. I'm sorry, not Cynthia. Crystal, if I did I give you a flyer for American Mothers? Because if I did, I want to show that too, because this is how me and your grandma met. We met through a now 91-year-old organization called American Mothers Inc. And we met in DC when you were the what, Miss Louise? What were you a Mother of the Year? What year was that?
Yeah,
I
2014, representing Maryland.
She was the 2004. Y'all hear that out there in Maryland? She was the 2014 Maryland Mother of the Year. And we met at one of the American Mothers. This is a synergy moment. We met at the American Mothers Convention in Washington, D.C. And I fell in love with her, her daughter, who was able to do a poem, at one of the conventions that year. I
Yeah.
can't remember what year
Mhm.
that was, but she did a poem and she just rocked the stage in front of moms all over the country because that's what the National Convention does. Again, it was established in 1935. I serve on the bylaws as a bylaws chair on the national board now of American Mothers. And just to hear your story coming from you and have your grandma here to support you, you just made my day because I have four girls. I'm a grandmom and everything, and I'm gonna go down fighting for my grandkids. You can mess with my babies if you want. What's that
That's
little
right.
thug thing you said? What about that
That's
little thug
right. That's
thing?
right.
That's Sharon Lee. Okay, that's who Sharon Lee is. And I gotta always keep her on the rest because if you don't want to know Sharon Lee, right? You lead over here, right? Sharon McGee, but you don't want to mess with Tomboy Sharon Lee. Anyway, I got sidetracked for a second. So
That's right. That's right.
I just want to say that we love our girls, we love our boys, we love our moms, we love our grandparents, we love all of you all guys, but we want you to protect yourself
Yes.
and your family more now than
Yes.
ever. History has repeated itself, and I don't care what people say. If you don't protect your babies, who will? Right? Who will? So just keep that in mind. So,
That's right.
Chris, if you can't find that image of American Mothers, I'll just show on the screen American Mothers website, and I want to be able to have you all go to their website. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? There's something. Let me try to copy it. Hold on, guys. I'm getting special over here. Hold on. I'm gonna put it up here myself. I want you to go to this website and let me know if you can see it. Um, I want you to, they're going to be registered, they're going to be having their 91st convention
Yes.
in McLean, Virginia on April 23rd to the 25th. Register, register, register. I will be out there on a panel. I will be in the board, but I want to meet as many moms as possible who are really, really working on the behalf of mothers, girls, and their families, right? If you got domestic violence issues out there, if you got girls who are homeless, if you got girls who are in foster care, if you got human trafficking, if you got any service project that we need to know about, please come out and connect with us on April 23rd to the 25th. So, and thanks, Chris. I thought I put it in there, but my bad. So I also want to say that if you could bring up Chris, there's another platform that we like to support, the flyer with the Banneker Douglas Tubman Museum. If you could bring that up. Again, we're trying to pay some bills, guys. We're trying to pay some bills over here. Okay. So I would like for Chris to bring that flyer up. Just know that I am on, and let me take that website down because that's not right. So I thank you. Thank you. I want to say that I'm on this project, and this is called Government Affairs and Community Advocacy. What we're trying to do, guys, is create laws in Maryland that is going to protect us. If you can think of a law that needs to be put on the books, okay, please, please, please reach out to me. I am the point of contact for the southern part of Maryland. That's Calvert County, that's Prince George County, that's, Charles County. Let us know what you think should be something that should be put on the books for us. So you can reach out. I'm trying to put this thing in here right. Hold on. This is one. Okay, now here it is. This is the one I want to show. I always do www, but either way you can bring it up. It's the Banneker Douglas Museum. It's been renamed to the Banneker Douglas Tubman Museum. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So reach out to them. This is going to be a major, major project. If you know of anyone who has any books, they're doing book drives where they're putting books in mailboxes, where you can go and pick up a book, not in your personal mailbox, but in a mailbox located within Maryland and throughout all the counties, all the 33 counties in Maryland. So just know that, we're not talking about leading from within. We're working behind the scenes and leading from within. And that's really what it's all about. So I want to say thank you, Chris, for showing that. But also I would like if you could tell us how we can connect with you and how to get to both of you all social media platforms so we can stay connected. Rakita, we'll start with you. Just tell people how they can reach out to you and learn more about what you're doing in the community and your businesses.
You can reach out to me at Rakita Thompson _author on Instagram. You can reach out to me at Rakita L. Thompson author on Facebook. You can also reach out to me at Rakita Thompson Rakita L. Thompson on YouTube, as well as you can go to www.rakitathompson.com, which is my website.
Thank you. And Ms. Louise, how can individuals reach out to you?
First of all, let me say thank you for having us. This was absolutely wonderful. But
Yes, thank you.
I helped Keita to publish her book, did the editing and proofreading of it. So I have a business doing that. So I can be reached at 202-670-4952 or https:// and LA Battle Enterprises LLC.org. That's my website.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having us on. Thank
No,
you.
it was
Thank you. Thank
it was
you for
my
helping her to
pleasure.
get her story out.
Yes,
This is
ma'am.
a part of the healing too.
Yes, totally. You all have just, made my day on so
Thank
many
you.
levels. There's so many more questions I would love to ask and everything. Like I said, we're going to do a part 2 to this because this is where we come together now, guys. We're about to go into Black History Month 2026, right? And we know that there's a lot that's being taken away from us. And, at the end of the day, if we
Yes.
don't protect our community as a whole, we're risking our children. We can't play around with this no more. Moms, dads, granddads, grandmoms, uncles, aunts, sisters, brothers, cousins, nieces, nephews. My granddaughter is, she know I'm on camera, but she loves to just, get the action going on right here. Laugh at her, y'all. Laugh at her. She's going outside with no coat on, as cold as it is. So just laugh at her right now. But anyway, we need one another, guys, more now than ever. Whatever issues you have going on, let it go. We're in some crazy auspicious times. Let it go. Come together and protect your family.
Yes.
With that being said, thank you for joining the Sharon Lee Briefing Podcast Show,
Yes.
third season, 8th episode. Miss Louise, Rakita, you all rock this podcast today. Please share it out later with your family and friends. Those who will watch this later, please ask questions. Rakita will respond to them. Please leave comments.
We will.
Show her your support. Like she said, this is a healing process, and she needs all of our support, and we're going to give it here to her from Rosa for sure. And Rosa
Yes.
means remembering our ancestors, synergistic association, and that's what we do. We synergize. We come together and we make things happen. And thanks to you both for allowing us to do that today. Have a wonderful Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. And Chris, if you could take us out with the theme song and everything, Sharon Lee on the run, I would really appreciate it. But stay behind the scenes because we got to do our little green run.
All right. All right.
Energy, living legends are reaching me.
Come on, y'all, get some dancing with me.
Knowledge with you and me, teaching us how to
All right.
live with Sharon Lee.